Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. My name is James David, and in today's video, I would like to share a little bit about my experience on visiting Sungai Buloh nursery here, and I spotted some begonias that has been sold in this particular spot, and I would like to share some little bit of my thoughts and my opinion concerning these types of begonias. So sit back and enjoy the show. In most cases, when it comes to begonias, basically you will find two types of begonias sold here in these nurseries. The cane begonia types and the rhizome types. These are basically the ones that recently arrived here, where I often find that comes in batches. These are rhizome begonias. In my opinion, I believe these are very much of the Highland types, which are very much related to the Rex begonia. Some thoughts on these rhizome begonias. This appears to be very healthy looking. I believe that this appears to be a new type of hybrid, a cultivar that may be found in the market here for this year's collection. Just a quick check on the potting medium. Appears to be very much like a cocoa peat with some elements of manure here, which I find that could be one of the reasons why this particular plant appears to be very healthy looking. Together with this collection, I also spotted Rex begonia. It looks like it has some red tones on it. These are the telltale signs where these are actually coming from Highlands, and normally in a cold high places this will actually revert to more red tones. However, I've also noticed some telltale signs of burns on certain parts of the leaf where it didn't acclimatize properly, where this appears to just went through some shock. So these are the things that you can actually take note of when you notice some burns. These are the appearance where the plant it's in the process of acclimatization, and you will always come to able to note that the newer leaf will slowly fades away to a green colorization. So you won't see these pinkish red tones. Eventually they will revert to a different color. So unless you really want to keep these pink notes, they may need to be in a high humidity and freezing cold nights. So these are the factors that when it comes to rhizome begonias, they can be very finicky and very difficult to predict on their stability. I have had many rhizome begonias in my experience, and I find that they are very much not a long-term plant, and they can just snap and die away in any instance, especially when they face some stress or any factors that causes them to go through stress. Coming back to the factor of cultivating sensitive rhizome begonias, do take note that in some cases and instances that a specific type of rhizome begonias appears to be hardy and able to handle some stress according to lowland climate. So, and also there are all the types that appears to be on a reverse factor. So it's more on an identification of trial and error, where you have to figure out and see what types of Rex begonias appears to be able to handle the garden condition. Personally, I have come across some gardeners who are very much devoted in actually cultivating begonias and have been extremely successful. And one of the factors that I actually notice here is humidity. So the ability to actually handle good humidity, and also another factor is watering. Somehow I find that overwatering does kill these types of begonia, and it can be quite heart-rendering moment to find that in a constant battle of keeping a plant alive, when you actually see them succumb to rot, even stem rot or root rot, and they may not recover from the rotting process, and the whole plant dies away in the collection. For this factor, what I have actually done here is that again, based on my experience, I only cultivate the ones that is hardy and able to handle well in my garden conditions. So the test trials will be more on the element of purchasing and trying on at least 3 to 5 times, and I find that if they are still finicky and difficult to grow because of the non-availability of humidity and growing factor in my garden space, I will skip those sensitive types and actually cultivate those which are hardy in my garden space. So these are the ones that I actually want to show to you on what is available currently now in the plant market here in the nurseries. Do take note that these were actually half price ago, at least 2 to 3 years ago. So I find that there is quite a big jump on the plant price, which I find it could be the element where the stock which is available now is actually very limited. I have now come to the end of the video. If you have any questions, do put them in the comment below, and if you can, please click subscribe and like my channel. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day. Bye.